Can Vivek Ramaswamy be trusted? How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Unwoke Thoughts. Today, we are talking about my second favorite presidential candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy. Yes, that's correct. Guys, have you ever had like two friends that just start fighting with each other and you're just sitting there like, guys, come on, can we all just get along? Well, that's kind of how I felt last week when Donald Trump truthed out, posted out, tweeted out, however you want to say it, on True Social about Vivek Ramaswamy finally taking a hardline stance against him and his campaign, saying that he's getting too close and that he is essentially a Trojan horse for the MAGA movement. Now, if you know Vivek Ramaswamy, a lot of Trump supporters are Vivek Ramaswamy fans and vice versa. Vivek has aligned himself very closely with MAGA, America First, and the Trump campaign. He basically refuses to criticize Trump, and that's very smart of him to do. He's running a brilliant campaign. He used to be basically unknown. Like, nobody knew who this guy was, and all of a sudden he burst on the scene, and he is spouting all these talking points that really speak deeply to myself and a lot of Americans. And some people are suspicious by this. Donald Trump says that he is basically lying and being deceitful, and he is not MAGA. And some people think that Vivek is not even real. Like, he is basically copying everything from Trump, even his campaign logo. But this photo was tweeted out by Laura Loomer, the biggest Trump fan in the history of Trump fans. And she tweeted out a comparison of Vivek Ramaswamy's Truth campaign slogan and logo and Donald Trump's True Social logo. And she pointed out the obvious similarities. I don't know about this one. I mean, they are kind of similar, but, I don't know. I feel like we're grasping at straws here. But Donald Trump, of course, the tweet that kind of caused all this controversy was this tweet right here where Trump tweeted out or truthed out or posted, Vivek started his campaign as a great supporter, the best president in generations, etc. Unfortunately, now all he does is disguise his support in the form of deceitful campaign tricks. Now, this is why I say that Trump says that Vivek is a Trojan horse, because he is disguising his campaign in support of deceitful campaign tricks. So, take that for how you may. Very sly, but a vote for Vivek is a vote for the other side. Don't get duped by this. Vote for Trump. Don't waste your vote. Vivek is not MAGA. The Biden indictments against his political opponent will never be allowed in this country. They are already beginning to fall MAGA. So this is a pretty hardline stance for Donald Trump to take against Vivek Ramaswamy, saying that he is being deceitful and he is disguising his support, basically calling Vivek Ramaswamy a liar. And this is not the only thing he has posted. This morning, he actually made a post, and this is, right before the Iowa caucuses. And he said, a vote for Vivek is a wasted vote. I like Vivek, but he played it too cute with us. Too cute. Caucus tonight, vote for Donald J. Trump, build up the numbers. In November, we must take our very troubled nation, a nation in decline, back from crooked Joe Biden and the radical left Democrats and thugs who are destroying it, MAGA. Now, guys, this brings me to my opinion on what's going on here. Now, I don't think Donald Trump has a problem with Vivek per se. I don't think so. I do think Donald Trump is looking at Vivek Ramaswamy, or at least his consultants are looking at Vivek Ramaswamy and saying, hey, listen, Vivek is getting a little bit too cozy with the MAGA movement. People are associating Vivek with Trump and Trump with Vivek. And that is not good for our campaign. That even though Vivek is not polling anywhere close to as good as Trump in Iowa, what they want to do coming out of the Iowa caucuses is to project strength, almost a blowout, if you will. And they don't want Vivek coming in there and taking any percentage points away from Donald Trump. They want a complete and utter blowout. And the fact that Vivek is kind of wrapping himself in this cozy MAGA blanket, not criticizing Donald Trump, that could mean, a half a percentage point towards Vivek that would have gone towards Donald Trump. And that's what I think that Trump's political advisors are telling him. So Trump is saying, listen, don't fall for it. I'm the one for 2024, not Vivek. Now, a lot of people have been critical of Vivek Ramaswamy, and this is not without merit. There are some things Vivek has said that has brought into question the things that he is saying now. For instance, in January 2021, Vivek Ramaswamy says he cried watching the disgrace that was January 6th.
This might be controversial to say, but I think that when I saw the disgrace that unfolded at the footsteps of the Capitol on January 6th, I cried. I was in tears when I watched on television that day.
So Vivek says here on Fox News that he cried watching this disgrace. And many of you know that now Vivek Ramaswamy is saying that January 6th might have been an inside job. And he wants to know just how many government agents were at January the 6th. So it seems like sort of a flip-flop. And people, they look at this and they're like, wait a second, why did you flip-flop? Was it because you just got more information or studied it more and you decided that, hey, maybe we need to look more into this? Or are you just trying to tickle our ears, trying to tell us what you think we want to hear in order to gain our support? So like I said, there is some merit to this. And then that brings me to this video right here, where some individuals feel like Vivek Ramaswamy is manipulating people to gain their support.
Scared of you. Just
they are.
They're scared of Trump.
Oh,
they are scared.
And they will stop at nothing, but we're not going to let them get away with it. I've got fresh legs. I'm not wounded. And they're not going to let this man do it.
When you said eliminate, that gave me a chill. Because I'm scared.
Because you think it's false or because you think it's true?
I think it's true. Yeah. I think they will stop at nothing to stop them. Stop Trump.
It's sad, but it's the truth. It's the sad, but it's the truth. So I'm asking you to do your part, and we're going to. We can do this. We can do this.
They say, how do you feel about the United States? And I say, I'm worried and I'm fearful.
My job that you don't have to feel that way in this country.
But we're losing it.
We're losing
it.
It pains me to hear that.
We need people like you. Young, vibrant.
And that's where our founding fathers were.
Yes.
It's 1776 moment soon. I want your support at that Iowa caucus.
I get emotional.
I'm emotional about this country. I need your support on Monday night.
So in this emotional exchange between an Iowa caucus goer and Vivek Ramaswamy, the Iowa caucus goer, this lady, is very concerned about Donald Trump being attacked and maybe potentially put away. And Vivek Ramaswamy, people are saying, is using that as emotional leverage to gain her support potentially. And he even goes as far as to hug this lady. Now, I look at this situation kind of similar to how I look at the situation of Donald Trump attacking Vivek Ramaswamy in the first place. I think if you are a political candidate today, whether it be for, a smaller race or for the presidential race, which is the biggest one, I think you have to use every advantage that you can get, even maybe some dirty tricks that you may have up your sleeve if you want to win. Otherwise, your opponents will. Otherwise, the people on the other side will, and they will crush you. That is the reality when it comes to campaign races, political races in this country. So I'm sorry, I look at this the same way as I look at Trump attacking Vivek. I mean, you can call it deceitful. You can call it, two-faced. They're lying. They're using dirty salesman tactics. Call it what you want. But you have to do these types of things when it comes to political races in the United States. So do I look bad at Vivek Ramaswamy for doing this? No, I don't. Do I look bad at Donald Trump for coming out against Vivek Ramaswamy, someone I really like, someone I feel like is the future for America? No, I don't. So that's my personal opinion on the matter. But there are many reasons why people like Vivek Ramaswamy. And one of the reasons why I like Vivek, and I feel like a lot of people like the Vivek, because he really has his finger on the pulse of the United States and all of these really small, nuanced issues that have cropped up over the past few years that you look at and you have a question in your mind like, wait, what is going on with our government? What is this? Why are we being attacked? Our free speech, why is it being attacked in this way? Vivek Ramaswamy, he talks about all of these. He made this tweet. This was just yesterday. And he said, Russia collusion, the Hunter Biden laptop story, Charlottesville, Bubba Wallace, Jesse Smollett, Covington Catholic kids, Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot, COVID lab leak was a conspiracy theory, Steele dossier, don't say gay was in the bill, migrant kids in cages, Georgia election integrity was the new Jim Crow, Duke lacrosse kids, Zelensky is a paragon of democracy, January 6th, peaceful BLM riots, ivermectin is a horse dewormer, Trump uses tear gas to clear a crowd for a Bible photo. The mainstream media spits in the face of the people every single day with ad nauseum and flagrant lies, and you think the 2024 election is any different, open your eyes and see the trap they're walking us into right now. So all of these things that he is mentioning, some of these things you might not even know what they're talking about, like the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot, where the FBI basically trapped regular, normal individuals into this whole plan to kidnap the governor of Michigan. That's not very well known. I mean, you might know about it, you might not, but I haven't seen a whole lot of that on the news. And it was a big deal for a while if you were kind of paying attention to, what was happening in the news. But stuff like this, Vivek Ramaswamy, he talks about. But this brings me to what he says that he is going to do on day one. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy, his day one executive actions that he claims that he is going to do are pretty darn good. Listen to this. Pardon all nonviolent January 6 protesters, deny due process, and federal defendants prosecuted based on political motives. Trump, Assange, Mackey, and countless others. Order 75% headcount reduction in every federal agency and rescind 50% of federal regulations which failed to meet the West Virginia v. EPA standards. Repeal Lyndon Johnson's Executive Order 11246, which mandates race-based quotas in federal government and for contractors. Move troops to U.S. southern border and northern borders. Order federal disclosure of all communications between federal bureaucrats and private sector actors to censor or financially penalize government disfavored speech or conduct. Then comes day two. I mean, that's a heck of a thing to do on day one. Those executive actions, that is incredible. Pardon the January 6 protesters, pardon Trump, Assange, Mackey. And then this one is huge. 75% reduction in federal agencies. He is saying that he is going to slash the bloated federal agency budget right away and get rid of all these people who are just basically existing and getting a government check and they're not really doing anything. Or worse yet, some of them in the FBI are working against the country, which I think is crazy. And then this one right here is, I think, one of the most important things that is happening in the United States today is the illegal immigration crisis. It is a crisis. Over 12 million people have gone across the border over the past 3 years since Biden took office. And Vivek is saying he will move troops to the U.S. southern border and northern borders. That's incredible. I mean, this problem has gotten so bad that Greg Abbott has sent Texas National Guard soldiers to the Texas border, to the Texas-Mexico border, and they are clashing with Biden's Department of Justice. That's how bad the problem has gotten. But Vivek Ramaswamy is not seeing the greatest polling in Iowa, but according to him, he's saying, listen, those polls don't really reflect the reality. And he actually retweeted this video from his campaign in Iowa, which shows a packed room of Vivek supporters. Camera pans around and you see it's not the largest room, but the room that is there is packed. There is tons of people in this room. It's packed. There are news cameras. So, we might have some sort of surprise. We might see more support for Vivek than we thought, than what the polling reflects on in the Iowa caucuses. But one of the reasons why he could be getting more support, or one of the reasons why Donald Trump may have come out against him, is because he has seen some support from some prominent political commentators like Candace Owens.
It's not only his business acumen, his intelligence, his ability to relate to different people. It's also his astounding work ethic. I truly believe that Vivek Ramaswamy is one of those people that is just genetically gifted. His brain works in a way, and this is why he's been so successful at such a young age business-wise. It works faster than most human beings on Earth.
So Candace Owens says Vivek Ramaswamy, he's just better. His brain works faster. He's smarter than a lot of people. And I agree with him, or with her. I think Vivek Ramaswamy is brilliant. I think you cannot corner this guy. I mean, you guys have probably seen videos of protesters trying to yell him down, of reporters trying to corner him, and he is never cornered. He never says the wrong thing. And this is kind of why some people don't trust him, because they think he is too perfect. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here. He touches on every issue that we care about as America First individuals, And that makes us kind of suspicious of the guy. And I admit to having these thoughts as well. Is he telling the truth? And the facts of the matter is you really don't know. You don't know. You kind of have to go off of gut instinct because the stuff he is saying sounds really, really good. And I personally believe a lot of it, most of it is coming from the heart. He actually believes what he says. And the reason why is pretty simple. Because in order to talk how he talks with such passion and enthusiasm as he does, you would have to almost be a psychopath or a sociopath if you were lying. That's my entire basis for my rationale with why I like Vivek Ramaswamy. And, I could be wrong. Maybe he is a psychopath or a sociopath. But even though Donald Trump has come out and attacked Vivek is not attacking Trump.
I interpret it as bad campaign strategist, corporate consultant advice that he might have received. And so I don't hold it against him. He's a good president. He's been a great president. I've defended him more than anybody else in this race.
Yeah, so he chalks it up to his consultants, which I think is a very good idea. I feel like that's probably why Donald Trump has come out against Vivek, because his consultants probably told him, listen, we want to project strength coming out of the Iowa caucuses. We want all the percentage points that we can get. So let's draw this hard line in the sand against Vivek. And that's what Trump did. And Vivek is saying, listen, I have supported Trump more than just about anybody. And in this video, it's 3 minutes long, so I won't play the whole thing. But he talks about how he filed an amicus brief in support of Donald Trump because it was attempted to take Trump off the ballot in Colorado and Maine. And Vivek used his own legal team to support Trump in that matter. And that's very true. So, this is how things go every single presidential campaign, every single presidential election. Dirty tricks are played. You've got to do things in order to win. That's just the facts of the matter. And you might not like how that game is played, but you got to look at the reality. That's how the game is played. And you have to play it that way, or else someone else is going to come up behind you and absolutely obliterate you, because they will play the game that way. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that Vivek Ramaswamy is a Trojan horse? Do you think that he is lying? Do you think that he is not really MAGA? Do you think Donald Trump is right about Vivek? Should we be suspicious of him? Is he too good to be true? Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.